How you doing, everybody? This is starting off a brand new show here, holding it down. I am Henri, or Flash, and this is my boy Devin over here. This is a sports show, sports talk, sports debate, everything sports. Field in all sports: NBA, NFL, MLB.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter. Whatever. Boxing.
When it comes to it.
Whatever we got to do. Taking comments, doing everything. So with that, we're going to kick the show off. We're going to kick off our first show with a little NBA talk. We're going to get right into division breakdowns, and then we're just going to segue and move right on from there. We're going to start in the Atlantic Division in the East. We're going to start off with the Knicks, obviously.
New York.
That's a homer pick for me. So as we start off with the Knicks, I think the Knicks are right in there for the division title. I think it's going to be the Knicks, and we're going to be looking at Brooklyn. Probably going to be the top two for the rundown for the division. Philly's looking good. Philly looks like they got a strong young core in the division.
Young
at least.
is
I mean,
word.
they're young, but I think they've got some potential. Boston is in shambles. I mean, I think,
For lack of a better word.
Yeah, I think we can go with in shambles. I mean, Rondo's the best player on the team.
Who's not there yet.
Who is not there yet.
He won't be there until after the All-Star break probably.
Yeah, and that's I mean, the best player on the team playing is Jeff Green.
Yeah.
So I don't think that puts Boston in a very good spot to really do anything, making noise this year. Hopefully Rondo gets traded to the Knicks next year.
Wishful thinking.
Hey, listen. What else do we have? Toronto's
It's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
Moving on.
Dead in the water. I'm putting the Knicks at 50 wins this year.
That's a good number.
I think I'm putting them at 50 wins this year. I think that's a strong that's a solid number for them. I think it's attainable. Just as long as, Melo's healthy and he's efficient. I'm going to use that word. I think that's the best word to use there, efficient. Chandler's starting off good. Chandler looks like he's playing like the Chandler of old. First game, 5 blocks. Second game, what was it, 19 rebounds or 15 rebounds or something like that. He's playing big time so far, and that's what you want. And he's healthy. So as long as he's on the court, I think he can do that. I think he can do that as long as he's good on the court. And Brooklyn, you have Brooklyn.
Many have Brooklyn as overtaking the Knicks this year.
You know what? It's a lot of people have that.
50 wins as well. Maybe 52.
Maybe
whatever.
52. It's a possibility. I mean, at what point does injury and age catch up to the Nets?
Yeah, that's why I think health is even more key for them. I mean, you got Garnett 37, Pierce 35,
something like that. And he look like at least 45. I mean, Darren Williams, he's on limited minutes, starting off the season. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's got health concerns that most of us don't even know what that is. I don't even know what he's got. He's got lung problems.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with Darren
And their
Williams.
bench is even older too. You got AK-47 who's in his 30s.
Jason Terry,
Hey.
who's in his 60s.
Sean Livingston has the knees of 60-year-olds. So
he's had knees of 60-year-olds when he was 16. So
we'll
not,
see.
There's some question marks. They could win 52 games. They could win 38 games. It all depends on who's on the court. Are they healthy? Or are they not healthy? So I think that's it. I think the Atlantic's gonna come down to the Knicks and it's come down to the Knicks and the Nets. But I think they're both playoff teams. They're both in the playoffs.
Definitely.
Easy. We'll move right on to the Central Division. We've got the Bulls and the Pacers now here. Another two strong teams that are gonna vie for this division title.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the similar style of play as far as
Definitely.
defensive minded.
Yes.
We're both defensive minded, grinded out teams, defensive minded. I mean, the Pacers I think have the size advantage over the Bulls.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really think. I mean, Joakim Noah is, he's a banger down low, but I don't think with the emergence we've seen in Roy Hibbert, I don't think he's got what it takes to really stick with Roy Hibbert in, let's say, a 7-game series.
Yeah, the Pacers
you know?
definitely have the advantage offensively and defensively with their bigs. So.
I definitely agree with that. I think obviously the big X factor, the big monkey in the room with Chicago is Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's rust. But at what point, during the season, is he going to kick it into Derrick Rose gear and be that player? Because so far, what I've seen from him the first couple games, and even in the preseason, is that there's no hesitation on the knee. He's not. There's no fear. He's not playing with any fear. He's just rusty.
You see little flashes of the old D Rose.
Right,
so.
it's there. It's just he hasn't hit the corner yet.
No,
it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. I think.
Well, hopefully.
We don't know that. I mean, we don't know. The question with the Bulls is always offense. Will they score enough points? They scored 82 points against the Knicks the other night. So they won the game, but they only scored 82 points.
But that's also the same thing with the Pacers as well. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they couldn't beat Miami.
This is true.
They didn't have another scorer outside of Paul George. So
this is correct, and which is also a big X factor to them is where's Danny Granger? Is he healthy? Is he not healthy?
Well, he's not now. So
correct. So he's not healthy now. Will he ever be healthy? We don't know.
He's in contract year too, so I mean,
he's in contract year and hurt.
Come out.
So that's not a good look. That's not a good look for him. But if he gets back on the court, I think he may be able to provide the offense necessary to take them to that next step in the conference, not just in the division. Winding out the rest of the division here, we're looking at the Pistons.
The Pistons might do something. They
got some pieces. They got Josh Smith, big contract.
They do, and they have their bigs, Monroe and Drummond.
They got some big. They got some bangers. They got some bangers.
They do. They roll, but I mean, you never know. And you have your boy, Mr. Big Shot.
Big Shot Billups.
Exactly.
It's
all 45-year-old of him. However old he is. But still.
But the front court looking good. What's the back court looking like though? Other than you got Billups, but Billups is like dust. Like I don't understand. Like
yeah, well,
it's old as dirt. Like what's the backcourt looking like? Is Rodney Stuckey still there?
He is still there. That's all you need to know. He is still there. So, but they got what's his name? They have Brandon Jennings. So.
They got B Jennings. Jennings.
So they still have no point guard still. So they got a lot of guys shooters. And they have big men.
A lot of people to put up points,
no
put up shots.
Exactly.
Nobody's orchestrating this offense.
No chef in there, mixing it together.
That could be a problem for Detroit. I really don't see them doing much, but we'll see. They could be one of those wild card kind of teams.
I see them getting in later. Middle of the
they could.
last few spots.
We got the Bucks.
I don't know.
The Bucks. Yeah, that's it.
They have some guys.
OJ Mayo, right? The Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Caron Butler.
Yeah, I think it'd just be Brandon Knight and hopefully.
Yeah. So the Bucks, I would say, will miss out on the playoffs this year. Cleveland. Kyrie Irving.
Tristan Thompson. And what's the name from Syracuse? What is his name? Dion Waiters.
Correct. Correct.
They're coming into coming to their own, and maybe
they're young.
They're very young, and they also have the first round pick, number 1 pick, Anthony Bennett.
They do have Anthony Bennett.
He's not starting, but you never know what can happen. So
they have potential. They're young. They got potential. They got talent.
And they're hoping, maybe LeBron in 2014.
Ooh. How about that?
I don't see that happening, but they're hoping.
What do you think? Kyrie Irving, is he the best point guard in the Eastern Conference?
In the East? Yes.
Think so?
Yes, he is. Rondo's not there right now, so definitely yes.
Stamp it. We're putting a stamp on that?
Easily, yes.
Ooh,
yes.
I like that. We're putting a stamp on that. Kyrie Irving, check next to Cleveland. Kyrie Irving is the best point guard in the East Conference. You heard it here first. Better than Derrick Rose? Healthy Derrick Rose.
Now, point guard. Playing the point guard position. Yes, he is. Yes, now, a scoring guard. You know what? No, I like Kyrie Irving. He just does so much for the team. He orchestrates the offense much better than I think Derrick Rose does. Derrick Rose is a scoring guard, combo guard.
I agree with that.
He's quick, he's athletic, he's a new hybrid point guard. Him and Westbrook are those new guards who just, could dominate, take over.
That's a good point. And now that you mentioned that, let me jump back to the Bulls. With Derrick Rose coming back, do you think the Bulls are worse off, better off, or just kind of even keel with last year? You know, we watched them in the playoffs last year. You know, they took the Nets to 7 games, knocked them out. Took the Heat. Was it 6 games? That was 6 game series.
Yeah, 6 games.
Took the Heat to 6 games. Clearly, they were overmatched. A lot of people, you know, the consensus is that if Derrick Rose was there, you know, maybe they probably would have beat the Heat. You know, we don't know that. But what do you think? What's your opinion on the Derrick Rose factor in Chicago's offense, their team, just the way that they play, the style that they play, the team basketball that they were playing last year without Derrick Rose? How do you feel he adds or takes away from that?
I think when you have a player like a Derrick Rose, you know, a guard who dominates the ball like that, and he's your offense. You know, he's not a guard who you throw it down to other guys to go ahead, give me a bucket. You know, he's a guy you need Derrick Rose to do everything for you.
Yeah,
correct. You need him to get your bigs involved in the game. You need him get them buckets. You know, it's a lot for one guy to do on his own.
It is.
So he doesn't have another guy like another 2 guard to help him out in offense. So you're expecting him to do it all and put it on his shoulders.
Who's playing 2 guard for the Bulls? Jimmy Butler.
He's good.
He's good. He's good. But I'm not.
But
he doesn't jump out like we're not pegging him as one of the best two guards in the game.
Yeah. But I think it might surprise people. But I think one of the biggest but one of the biggest things they didn't do all season was not re-sign on Nate Robinson.
Nate, now over in Denver, he scored 23 points tonight.
Yeah, I'm not a Nate fan. I couldn't stand Nate in New York, but someone who has that just off the bench, just confident, think he's the best player on the team.
J.R. Smith. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is also the X factor in New York, J.R. Smith. All right, so we got the Bulls and Pacers there. We're definitely confident about them in the Central.
Definitely.
Let's move along to the Southeast, because I don't agree with all these silly extra divisions. I don't know what it was before, but Southeast is stupid.
They just combined South and something else.
Whatever. Southeast, whatever. Honestly, Washington and D.C. isn't that far south. So, whatever. That's Miami's division. Miami's the clear and outright winner of that division. That's not up for debate.
They could give you 40 wins and they'll probably still win that.
Honestly, Miami could go to sleep for half the season and win the division.
They could be 40-42, 2 games under 500,
and still win the division. That's pretty much the kind of division that it is. But nonetheless, I mean, there is some pieces in that division that look.
Atlanta.
I mean, Al Horford. Al Horford is.
And they got Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap. They have a nice front court.
And got Teague. So.
Jeff Teague's pretty good.
He is.
He's not big time.
No, but he's serviceable.
He is serviceable. But Atlanta's they're not winning division. They're just kind of hanging around.
As they've been the past,
as they have been,
4 or 5 years already.
Correct. So. I mean, they were a playoff contender.
But,
years there with Josh Smith.
Yeah, but if you're not above the 4th seed, then you're not really in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're not really doing much. Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando is they in the Andrew Wiggins sweepstakes.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we're just Orlando's not really doing much.
I mean,
who's the best player on the team? Aflafo? Aaron?
Yes. You know what? No. Know what they have? Tobias Harris, Long Island's own.
Long Island's own.
Yes.
I like that. Long Island's own. Nice shout out there.
Yeah, why not?
The home
area. Definitely.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Jordan playing for them? Is he suited up?
Jordan could suit up. I mean, he might be able to start.
50? Hey, I mean, plug him in.
You could. It's the Eastern Conference.
Home games.
Kemba Walker?
Jordan and Kemba Walker. Down with that team.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a backcourt.
Hey.
Might be better backcourt than most of the backcourts in the Eastern Conference.
Jeez,
yeah. Charlotte's not really expected to do much. They have a nice young core.
Yeah,
but Kemba Walker can fill up the stat sheet.
Yeah, he
does a lot.
Yeah, they have
at his position.
Cody Zeller, they drafted, and they got Al Jefferson. So
They do got Al Jefferson. Health is obviously a big concern for Al Jefferson. I
Yeah.
mean, is he ever going to be on the court for 82 games? Is he ever going to be on the court for 60 games? Like, I don't.
well,
Health is a concern with Al Jefferson. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean,
when do you think
Cody
he's got
Zeller, we don't know what he's going to be. I mean, they took a risk even drafting him that high
Yeah.
when they drafted him.
this? Yeah.
Another seems to be the follies of the Charlotte organization since Jordan took over.
Oh, well,
I
Jordan
don't
in
really
general,
understand
so.
how being an amazing basketball player doesn't always translate well to being a good what is he, GM, owner or something.
He's everything.
Whatever. He's Jordan. He can be whatever he wants to be.
And y'all still mad at Isaiah. Go figure.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you.
you just listen. Old grudges die hard.
I guess so.
That'll be forever.
If they love you, they love you. It don't matter what you do.
That's right. If they hate you, they hate you. Listen, the Garden. I don't think Reggie Miller is still allowed in the Garden. The Wizards.
The Wizards.
How we looking on the Wizards?
They're gonna be better than
They will be better.
than they've been.
They will be better.
Got the young backcourt, Beal and Wall.
Beal and Wall.
Um,
That's a solid years to come. Backcourt. I mean, Wall is a talented guard. He's not a prototypical point guard. We seem
Definitely not.
We seem to be very low on those as we are. Go from year on to year on now. You've got guys like Darren Williams that still play a traditional type of point guard. Rondo, obviously. But honestly, you're looking at the Eastern like Kyrie Irving is a great combo type guard because he can facilitate the offense, but he can score.
Definitely.
So, it's the talent as far as prototypical point guard seems to be really, really falling off a cliff in the last several years. It's starting to.
It's more of these, they're
It's more
athletic.
athletic.
And,
The Derrick Roses, the Russell Westbrooks.
Yeah.
It's I can score 35 points, but I'm gonna have 4 assists.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I think Washington has a nice. I mean, they made the trade. They got rid of Okafor, who's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, how you even get to trade
But I mean,
the hurt player and get so many players in return
I guess,
is amazing to me.
They got Gortat, but I mean,
They got Gortat.
he's not changing anything. Is he?
No, of course not. He's just a piece. He's a piece, and they got Gortat, and they got a couple other pieces, but they won't necessarily make any big noise.
No.
So, I mean, if we round out the Eastern Conference, we have Miami, we have Chicago, we have Indiana, we have New York, and we have Brooklyn. We have 5 solid playoff teams in the Eastern Conference, top 5. Miami and then everybody else.
Correct.
Because honestly, I'm not ranking the rest of them because I don't think that's fair. Honestly, between those other 4 teams, I feel they could fall anywhere between 2 and 5. It's you'd want to put the Pacers in that 2 spot maybe, but you just don't know. It's.
I think they're of those 4 teams. I think the Pacers are the best.
I think they're the best
overall
group.
team.
I think that's the best
Top to
overall team.
bottom.
I mean, it hurts me to. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan. I mean, but we're gonna be objective here.
Yeah.
Well, so the Pacers are top to bottom. They ball.
Definitely.
Hibbert's a banger. I mean, it's Paul George is freakishly just lanky and good. He's a good player. It really just kind of shot up from like year to year. It was like he wasn't there, and then boom, he's an all-star. So that happened really fast. And they just have a bunch of other guys that can hit shots and really facilitate
David
the offense.
West.
Like David West.
He's a boozer.
Exactly. Now, rounding out these other 3 spots, I think we can safe to say Orlando's not a playoff team.
No.
Toronto's not a playoff team.
No.
I'm gonna
You know
go.
what? Toronto.
Are you putting them on the bubble?
They're in the conversation.
They're in the conversation.
They're not at the table yet. They're kind of in the room.
They're in the
fooling
room.
around.
They're in the room. So they're in the room.
Yes.
They're not completely eliminated yet, but they're in the room.
I mean, they have Rudy Gay. They have
Rudy Gay.
DeRozan. They have some
They
pieces.
do. They do.
You
They
know.
do.
So.
Charlotte, not a playoff team. Correct?
Not a playoff team. No.
Correct. Boston. Now, we got to take in consideration that Rondo might not play the first 30, 40 games.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
by the time he comes back, and even if and when he comes back, what kind of impact is he going to have coming off of that injury?
Very true. But
I mean, personally, I'm ready to put the X on them as far as being. I mean, of course, that's a Homer thing because as a Knick fan and a Yankee fan, that's kind of anything Boston related for me.
Believe me, I understand. But I still think
But are you putting them in the conversation?
I'm not putting the nail in the coffin on them yet. They still have pieces.
They're on the outside looking in.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, they're on the outside looking in.
But I still think they have pieces comparable to other teams.
They do. I mean,
in
because
discussion.
when Rondo comes back, they still have Jeff Green.
They have Jeff Green,
So,
they have Avery Bradley,
they do, and, you know,
Brandon
who's very
Bass.
good on
They have
defense.
some, yeah.
They have some pieces. They're not totally defunct.
Bare, yeah.
Correct. Milwaukee.
I don't, Brandon Knight, I mean, who's
We're
really,
putting the nail in the coffin on Milwaukee. Detroit.
I like Detroit.
We like Detroit.
Hmm.
Are you putting them in the conversation?
I mean, yeah, they'll be around.
We'll put Detroit in the
They'll hang
conversation.
around.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta. Okay. Washington. Are you putting a nail in them?
No, they'll be entertaining.
They will be entertaining. They will be entertaining, if anything.
Yeah.
So we'll put Washington in the conversation. They're in the room. So we're gonna put. Are we putting Cleveland in the playoffs?
In the playoffs?
As one of the final three teams. Are we putting Cleveland in?
Yeah, I see them in there. Along asterisk on Kyrie being injured. Being healthy.
Oh, of course. I mean, because
if he's healthy,
if he's hurt, they're gonna win 10 games.
I can't recall the last time he's been played a whole season anyway though.
Yeah.
He didn't play his 1 year in college the whole season and rookie season last season. So if he's healthy, then yeah.
I agree. Philly. What are we doing with Philly?
I'm putting them below the I'm putting them. They already have 2 feet already in the grave already. I don't know. They're
I don't think they're good. They're good. They're young. They got some nice. They got Thaddeus Young, Evan Turner. I mean,
Michael Williams Carter. Yeah, I understand.
They've got some up and coming
They
pieces.
beat Miami the other day. I understand
They did beat
that,
Miami,
but I don't
it's
see.
only
I don't see many more wins coming their way.
No, I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna take Philly out of the equation. So we have Cleveland. We're gonna put Cleveland in the playoffs as one. So that's gonna leave 2 playoff spots: Washington, Atlanta, Detroit, Boston. Pick 2.
I want to say Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But Detroit's in the Central too, and they're gonna
They
play.
are in the Central.
They're
That's
gonna
a tough
play.
division.
Exactly. They're gonna play
Chicago, Indiana.
Indy.
That's. And then they already got Cleveland. If
Exactly.
we're gonna put Cleveland in, it's gonna be a tough sell to put Detroit in
Exactly.
as well. And you're talking about 4 teams in that division making the playoffs.
Okay, Atlanta. Get a beat up on Charlotte and Washington and Orlando. Yeah, so. Okay, Atlanta and maybe Detroit, I guess. Maybe.
Atlanta and Detroit gonna go with Detroit? We're going with 4 playoff teams in the Central?
Listen.
It could happen. I'm not saying it's
I
impossible.
know that. I mean, we can only
Are we taking Boston out of that conversation of the last 2? I just don't think they have enough by the time Rondo comes back. I don't think they have enough to. You gotta remember, they're playing in division with the Knicks and the Nets, and without their best player to facilitate the offense,
I understand.
They're gonna be in a lot of games where they're just gonna be outmatched.
But it's still Boston.
It's still Boston,
I
but
don't know.
between the Knicks and the Nets, they don't match up well. They don't match up well.
They don't. I mean, their problem is scoring, so
they don't match up well. They don't and saying which, they don't match up either well with Chicago or Indiana either.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Boston out of this equation.
Okay.
I'm gonna help you out. Atlanta and Washington and Detroit. Pick 1.
So, you know what? I'm going with Atlanta, definitely. Now it's either between Detroit and Washington.
Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. So you're gonna say definite on Atlanta.
Yeah.
Detroit, Washington. Who's in? We're putting this on record.
I like Detroit.
Like Detroit.
Something about, I don't know.
I can go with you on that. I mean, they're young, but they got the veteran there, Josh Smith.
And Billups.
And Billups, Mr. Big Shot. Washington's just young.
They are young.
And we know John Wall's gonna have a lot of turnovers. He's gonna make a lot of
I
mistakes.
mean, who's their big guy to depend on? Ariza?
You know what? I'll roll with you on Detroit. We'll round out and say Detroit would be, that 8th seed on that cusp type of, team right there. So we're gonna have
and by that way anyway, when you get down to 8th, 7th, 8th seed, I mean, all you need is like 35 wins anyway.
You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of wins. So we're gonna go with Miami. Going with Miami, Indiana, the Knicks, Nets. Who we got there? Oh, Chicago, Atlanta, and who did I forget? Cleveland and Detroit. All right, so we're gonna put a stamp on that. Your stamp. For the 8 playoff teams in the Eastern Conference.
Put it all on me.
Boom, there you have it. Devin said so. We're gonna move on to the Western Conference. Ooh boy. What do we got here in the West? Pacific Division. Tried and true. The mostly all Cali division.
Pretty much.
The Cali dominated division.
Boy.
Let's start with the Lakers. How do you feel? How are we feeling about the Lakers? We don't know when Kobe Bryant's coming back. This is not your daddy's Lakers. This ain't your brother's Lakers. This ain't your grandfather's Lakers. Especially without Kobe on the court.
Yeah.
Is Chris Kaman is starting at center. As far as I know.
That's enough right there. You got Paul.
You got Powell. You got Powell. He's got a lot of young guys there.
Same thing for the past 2 years, though.
The Lakers are a big question mark without Kobe. Is he going to be back before the All-Star break? Probably not. The All-Star break could be.
They said these
could just miss the whole year.
Nah, he ain't going to do that. I heard, December,
it's Kobe.
Christmas
We know
time.
Kobe, listen, Kobe's not going to play unless he can play at Kobe level. He's not going to play unless he can be that 28-point guy. If he's not going to be that 28-point guy, he's not going to step out on the court.
Yeah.
So that may take even longer than expected. This is the worst injury, one of the worst, if not the worst, sports injury to have.
Definitely.
The Achilles injury is
Definitely
devastating. So, they're a big question mark without Kobe. Clippers. The Clippers. Does the Doc? Let me ask you that then. Since you mentioned Doc, does Doc put the Clippers into a different? Does that put them on a different level than they've been in years past?
Well, I think already they're on a different level than they were in years past anyway. Shit, the Clippers from 5 years ago, let alone last year, 2 years ago, were just the Clippers. They weren't even like the younger brother or little brother of the Lakers. They were like just the
redheaded stepchild.
Exactly. So, but yeah, definitely. I think just having that another point guard, coach, whatever, so he'll definitely help out Chris Paul, who's already in my opinion the best point guard in the league.
We agree on that. 42 and 15 the other night.
Yeah. He'll also help out with Blake and DeAndre, who has the ability to be one of the top defensive players in the league.
Yes, he does.
He just has just mental lapses.
They're just, they're big time. They have that highlight reel, shot blocks.
Yeah,
I don't know about great defensive awareness or just on-ball defensive skills.
No, but definitely weak side. He's definitely good.
Definitely weak side, coming out of the rafters, throwing into the fifth row type of highlight reel defensive plays. Definitely.
But he has too many brain force, though.
Oh, absolutely.
And hopefully Doc will, steer him.
I think Doc is the key. I think the Clippers will go as far as Doc Rivers takes them. I think that puts them to Doc Rivers definitely puts them into a different conversation. Let's jump over to Phoenix.
Yeah, another team that's in the.
Are we just gonna write them off right now? Can we just write them off right now?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna write off Phoenix right now. We're not even. It's not even. They traded half their team away to get Okafor and some draft picks or a draft pick.
They have like 4 picks in this year's draft. coming
They're
up.
just going for the future. Phoenix is
Andrew-
all in.
Andrew Wiggins. That's what they're going for.
Phoenix is all in for the future. Who else is there? Bledsoe is.
Bledsoe.
He's never healthy.
Yeah, they have the Morris twins, Marcus and Markeith and whatever.
Whatever. Phoenix is dead. Sacramento.
Boogie Cousins.
Mm.
I'm a big, you know.
I know you like the Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins.
I know you like Cousins.
And you know who the new what's it, general manager or president is? Shaq now, or owner.
You know
or
what?
something like that.
He's something. I saw him
Yeah.
talking about Cousins the other day.
And you know he's supposed to be his new mentor now. So if
knows?
Shaq
You know
could
what?
bring him in and get him right, get his mind right, and
That could be big time, especially in a conference with no. Forget conference. The NBA doesn't have the era of the big man died many years ago.
Definitely.
That died off with Patrick Ewing and those guys.
Definitely.
Like, or essentially it died off with Shaq.
yeah, he's the last of the Mohicans.
Shaq, yes, he's the last of the Mohicans. Very nice, very nice. I like to put that there. Because you got Cousins. I mean, it's
He's a double
really
every game. So.
He is a double every game. I mean, it's the era of the big man is dead. I mean, Dwight Howard's over there in Houston, and you know it's
Yeah,
Cousins is a very talented player. He's very talented.
but just having other pieces with him.
That's
so.
who's Tyreek Evans.
Nah, he's
Tyreek is
he's he ain't there no more. He's with the Pelicans. Remember?
oh my god.
We'll talk about
Don't
them.
even get me
We'll talk about them in a bit.
Oh my god.
But nah, they have Jimmy Fredette. They didn't even what's the name? What's the name? I won't say. His contract is not his option. They're not gonna renew his option for next year. So this is his last year's contract. So
What was he doing anyway?
yeah, he's on the bench, but still he's on what, second, third year in the league, whatever. So
Riding the pine.
but yeah, they got the rookie from Kansas. So you know, Macklemore. We'll see what he
and
does.
Macklemore. Okay, well that's
Yeah.
anyway. Ben McLemore. We'll see what he does.
Marcus Thornton, you know, who's a gunner, you know.
This team sounds very questionable outside of the Marcus Cousins.
They are.
The more we talk about this,
John Salmons, you know, he's still in the league. You know.
the fact that you even had to mention him means we move on to the next
Isaiah
team.
Thomas. I mean,
Oh my god.
His name's Isaiah. I mean, and Thomas. I mean,
Is he Isaiah Thomas Jr.?
no.
That he's not worth mentioning?
I mean, you know, it's spelled differently though. Does it matter?
It does matter.
Okay. All right.
God. The Golden State Warriors. That's like the sexy team of the whole NBA. It's the sexiest team in the whole NBA.
The Dubs.
The
you know.
Dubs. Oh my god.
You name the Dubs if you gotta be sexy, right?
You gotta be. Steph Curry. Well, we know he doesn't play defense, but I don't hold that against him. I mean,
And then does it have to really?
I don't think he has to. When you're putting up 30 and 40 and 50 every night,
he could just stay in the backcourt all game. Just put
7,
up
8,
shots.
9 threes. I mean, I don't really think
Just stay in the backcourt. Put up shots.
you don't gotta
Stay
play
there.
defense, Steph. I said you don't have to play defense. It's all good.
Yeah.
Holding it down says Steph Curry doesn't have to play defense ever in his career. Not like his ankles could hold up to playing defense anyway.
Yeah,
So
why risk it?
Klay Thompson, he's a
Who actually is not a bad on-ball defender.
Klay Thompson.
Yeah, 6'7", you know.
He's big.
Yeah,
Big boy.
exactly.
And he
So,
can shoot the three. Lights out. Splash Brothers.
that's why they call him Splash
Which is a
Brothers.
nickname that I did not even know about until like last week. Splash Brothers. Wow. Who came up with that?
Hey, give him a
Do
check.
Research on that. Cut them a check. Cut them a check.
Check the check.
Cut the check. Cut the check. Or as Randy Moss would say, straight cash, homie.
Straight cash on me.
Golden State. Look, they got the pieces there to do big things.
Along with
Steph,
but health
Klay.
is another thing with them.
Health is always a concern. Is Steph going to stay healthy?
definitely
How's
with
his
them, though.
ankles?
Steph and
Andrew Bogut.
Bogut as well.
If Bogut is healthy,
And not
majority of the season, hey.
As long as he's Bogut and not bogus, they'll be fine.
I mean, that's so easy to just switch that up.
Listen, hey.
But you know what? Golden State, they're definitely the sexy team.
And they added AI.
AI. Oh, that's right. They did add AI.
So
Andre
he'll
Iguodala,
be there,
who
you know.
fills up the stat sheet, by the way. He said he was going for 10, 10, and 10 this year. What was that? 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 something else?
10
10
blocks. I don't know
assists,
what.
10 steals?
I guess.
Whatever. He could get all of that.
He can.
Don't be surprised if you see him put up a quadruple double this year.
Just don't shoot threes, and hey, I'm fine.
Yeah, and we know he's a tenacious defender. He's one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, you got him. You got Mr. Double Double, Dave Lee. You got
Hell, once again, we're gonna go right back to the health discussion. You know,
Yeah.
this team health that's a make or break for the Golden State Warriors. You know, we could pencil them in for 50, 55 wins, but health could drag them down to 45 wins. So you know, it's the pendulum could swing either way with the Golden State.
And they have the
Warriors.
great motivator, Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson, man, he should have had a coaching job so long ago. We talked about this coaching thing. Good guys getting passed up for coaching jobs. He was somebody that shouldn't have got passed up for this long.
He had a great gig on ESPN, you know.
He did have
Hand
a
down,
good-
man down, you know.
Hand down, man down. He did have a good gig. Mark Jackson, man, gotta love Mark Jackson.
Mama, there goes
New
that
York
man
guy,
again.
man. Oh my
Definitely.
God, St. John's, right?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Moving on to the next division. I hate these division names, by the way. Northwest. Most of these teams aren't even geographically in the Northwest. God, I hate this.
I mean, the Northwest of the Eastern Conference, though. you
Oh
know,
my
so
God.
I'm just saying.
Oklahoma City is not the Northwest.
What's that anyway?
They're just in the north. That's like the
I can't
central south.
I can't
That's
even find
south-
home on a map. Where's that at on a map?
It's above Texas.
Let's not saying much. What's not above Texas? We're above Texas. Shoot.
It's that small place directly above Texas.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I believe you.
They're only in this division because they're still the Seattle Supersonics. So, Oklahoma City. We'll just start there. What is Oklahoma City looking like without Russell Westbrook? Let's put this out there. Let's get into that because
doesn't like
Kevin Durant is a top 3 player in the NBA. He's flat out probably the best scorer in the NBA.
you're one of the best, yeah.
We talked about this earlier. I don't think he's not filling out the stat sheet. He's not pulling down 8 rebounds. He's not dishing out 6, 7 assists. He's scoring 35 points.
To answer your
He's the
question,
best scorer in the league.
to answer your question, OKC is the same team that lost to
Memphis
was it
or
Memphis?
San Antonio?
San Antonio, no.
I think it was Memphis. And they got swept
Wow,
by Memphis.
just a few months ago. Wow.
I feel like they got swept by Memphis.
No, I think they won the game, I think.
I think they got swept by somebody. Look that up.
Nonetheless,
Oklahoma City got swept by somebody.
I want to say they won a game, I think.
I think they got swept.
They beat the Rockets, I know.
Look it up.